Hello and welcome back. We are working on this 78 Yamaha SR500. Today I'm going to try and tackle the rear master cylinder. Or sorry, the rear master. That's what it's called. I don't know if you remember when we initially went through this, the previous owner thought it'd be cool to cut this all off. I have it placed in there for effect. It was actually put on this way on the outside, and with very weak welds, I basically just pulled it off. You can see it was just basically tacked on there in a couple of spots. I don't have much hope that anything on here will be usable, but feel free to come along for the journey as we explore and see how bad of a shape this master cylinder is in. See if we need to replace it, fix it, or I don't know, whatever else option we have. Go to the bench. Okay, I have to forgive me for the fan noise. I have two fans going in here. It is approximately 158 million degrees today at 10 minutes to 2 here in the Austin, Texas area in the middle of summer, and I don't have air conditioning in the garage. Anyways, let's crack this guy open and see what we're dealing with. These are just hand tight from the last time I messed with this, just to fit it in place. And now we're gonna need, looks like a 10. A 12. Really tight. Okay, let me vise this, loosen it up. Okay, just put it on the vise just so I can grab it. Normally you're doing this with this thing, obviously, on the bike. I just want to get these banjos off. There's fluid in there, some sort of fluid. And that looks pretty nasty. That looks pretty, focus. It's pretty corroded in there. Light. See what we're dealing with in there. Ooh, there's some crusties in there. Alright, so that looks like a 10. Everything looks like a 10. That is. Okay. Not super tight. It's rusty. That's a monster. Alright, back to the vise with this. Disclaimer here. I've never taken one of these apart. I don't know what it's in here. So follow along just for entertainment purposes only, because it may end in disaster. Should have said that at the beginning, but I'm saying it now. What have we got here? Looks like a big fat banjo with an O-ring, some nasty corrosion. Another O-ring on both sides. There's some crust stuff there. Generally, you don't want stuff like that in your brake lines. Oh my goodness. Look at that. What are the odds that comes out of there? It looks like there's most of a retaining ring here. You see the one of the holes is there. The other hole is there. There. I don't know what kind of shape this guy's in. Let's try and clean it up a little bit. Hold your breath. There you see, got a better idea what I'm talking about with the clip, retaining clip in there. I'm getting my tool, see if I can pull this off. And hopefully this guy comes out. These cheap pieces of garbage. I'm not even gonna drop a name on anyone. So that's not working. So let's try. Not sticking myself in the thumb with it. Here we go. When all else fails, pick will work. Now, let's see if we can get some redemption for this little guy. Nope. Please don't go on my hand. What I was trying to do is break up the rust that has formed around this guy and the body. That's why I wasn't moving too well. Let's see. There we go. Now these little guys can do their job. It's a little bit better. Come on, you can do it. You got it. You can do it. Or not. There we go. Got it. For those of you who don't know, what I was trying to do was squeeze these together, which reduces the diameter, circumference of this, which makes it pop out of the little channel that it lives in right here. All right, so now we got that off. there's a Pac-Man shaped piece of metal in there that holds part of the onion. And I don't know what else is holding that up, other than rust. There's definitely rust holding this on. My guess is that is all that's holding it on. You see what I'm talking about? With this Pac-Man shape, you can see that. How it stops there, stops here, shadow that gets it. There's metal along here, and there's an open spot right there. That sucker is stuck in there too. How about just for grins, see if that helps us at all. There it is. It did help. See, there's a little Pac-Man shape. Goes like that, falls in. Now, is there anything else holding it in? I don't know. Normally it's just those. What I'm doing now is just trying to get some of the rust off the edges. That's gross. Obviously it has to come out this way because it doesn't come out that way. Excuse me. And I don't know what else is supposed to come off. It might have some kind of a snap ring holding that in there. Let me take off those glasses and get my magnifying ones. And looking for a snap ring in there. Let's see how nasty it is. Hope that's in focus. All this has to come out. You can try blowing air through here and see if it pops it out. The issue is, like I said, I don't know if there's another snap ring holding that in there, because we'll blow all the air we can and it won't budge if there's a ring in here. Wow. This should be able to push in. So the fact that it doesn't is not good. Brake cleaner. I don't see anything. Where's a Pac-Man piece? Do I have to explain what Pac-Man is? Is there somebody watching that doesn't know what Pac-Man is? It's a video game from the 80s. We chase around ghosts, eating power pellets. Okay, so yeah, it should pop straight out, it looks like. I'm guessing it pops straight out. Now, how we can get it out is a different story. I'm gonna beat on this with a hammer and see if I can get it to move. And I'm thinking rust has it right there. So I'm gonna grab me a decent hammer. Okay, better idea. Let's put this in the vise and slowly close it. See if we can get anywhere with it. We got a little motion. Yeah, bought us a little bit of room. See if we can spray some this in there. So we're in. Now we got to try and get out. Okay. This is a automotive panel, trim panel, like upholstery stuff, like door panels and things, remover for the pins. And it seems to fit just right there. There we go. Cruddy enough for you. This is the important part, this rubber skirting. If this is still soft and supple, like I said when I did the front ones, it should work. Because if you look in there, the cylinder in there looks all right. And I have little tiny hone stones that I might be able to fit in there if need be. So. See how this is still very soft? It's still fairly supple. It might work. It's very soft actually. Look at that. Alright, let me clean this up. And we'll put it back together, see if we can get this thing to work. Bring you guys back in just 1 second for you. I don't know how long it'll take me. Forgot, before I start taking this apart, there is still a rubber cap in here and a compressed spring sitting somewhere about there. And I'm not sure how to get those two out. I'm gonna try throw some air down here, see if throwing the air will go in here and pop that out. Looks like both of the ports are blocked. So let's give that a shot. I'm gonna try this. If you don't have one of these are awesome. For just about anything you want to fill up. So let's that nozzle in there. Cover that up with a towel. See if we can get some kind of a seal going there. And not enough of a seal. You see, this can't compress it. I got the rubber thing turned sideways, so let me get something. There we go. Cap. Spring. And I don't know. Yeah. We should be seeing light coming through here. But we are not. Over here. There it is. Okay. Alright, so we're clear all the way through. That's a mounting hole. That's the brake line hole. Okay. All the way through. We're good. We're good. Alright, now I'm going to clean this up and bring you guys back to put it together. 30 minutes at 46 degrees. And that weird metric degrees. That is just some distilled water. And go. Water looks a little different. And this line seems to have some kind of an obstruction because I can't get anything to go through it. But I had this other line off of first gen SV650 that seems to be the same size lengthwise. The banjos here are a little bit thicker than the banjos there. But we'll see if the bolts that came with this will fit. So at least I have a working brake line. And this one is from 2002. And this one is from 1978. So I would rather use the newer one than the very, very old one. And we're back. So everything cleaned up. I took, oh, there it goes again. The O-rings off of here, they're still very supple, and if you look carefully, they still sit proud of that surface. So I'm presuming that they will still work. And the banjo bolts that went with this SV650 brake line are a different thread, so they will not work. But it looks like these will work. I have enough thread going in, and we'll see what happens. Anyway, the bore in there is very clean, very shiny. It's not marred up or anything. It cleaned up very well. And even this guy cleaned up fairly well. Again, this little rubber piece is very supple and moves. It's not hard and crusty. This doesn't particularly matter because this is not inside the cylinder. This sits like that and is exposed to the weather, covered by this. He's broken, so what we're gonna do with that is this. See if this will work. Sometimes I don't glue it to myself. Stay there. Get away from my fingers. And put a little bit on this guy. I don't want it to glue it to my hand. dry for a minute and start putting this guy back together. Lube things up with some Walmart Special .3. That up, put some lube in here. A little spring, little cap. Come on, little guy, get in there. You can tell the little cap has that star pattern from that guy. Witness marks. It in there. We'll get out of there. Okay. Lube. Now we get her. It's in there. It's coming out. It's moving. It's doing its thing. See? Then we get our Pac-Man piece. That's been cleaned. Stick that guy in there. And this guy. Hopefully we haven't forgot anything. See if my crappy tool works for this, at least. Come on, buddy. You can do this. Let me just make sure that it's riding in that channel. There we go. We're in. Yeah, cool. That's good enough. It'll have to do. Sort of holds. Alright, what's next? Okay. This. With this. Which side? Where are we going? Goes that way. As a tab, mounts there. I'm sure all these have torque specs, but I don't offhand know. This guy goes there. And holy moly. Looks like we're getting close to having this again put together. I'm going to reuse these. These are the two crush washers that go on this banjo bolt. Oh, forgot to clean the banjo bolt. That would have been bad. Okay. Had had to stop it so I can clean this. So I blew this out, got all the muck out of it. Again, reusing the crush washer, and only new. Banjo, crush washer, banjo, crush washer, fitting, crush washer. And we're clean and we're put together. The only thing that's left are the two mounts. Anybody remember where this went? Because I don't. It wasn't that important. Those go there, there. This goes. I guess we'll probably clean that too. That is simple green. I'm surprised considering the age of this bike. Again, I don't know how long it's been sitting, but some of these parts are still pretty good. That, and that goes like this. Gravity. Gravity still works. Okay, there we go. Okay, so here I'm setting this up. I'm going to weld this right here. I will not show my welding because my welding sucks. But after I weld and grind and weld and grind and make it look presentable and paint it maybe, then I'll show you guys what it looks like. But that basically goes there. The other thing that I'm working on is, fortunately, the person who mutilated this bike left all the pieces they cut. This is most of the brake light sensor mount that goes around here somewhere, so I'll either have to buy one or weld this back up over there. It's got a weird cut. Not really sure what that whole part's supposed to look like. Haven't looked it up yet. I looked up where it's supposed to go and it goes up there. So that's gonna go there. It's got this. Where'd it go? This wire that goes down to this hole on the lever, and you have like this goes to the bottom of the master cylinder. I still have to tear this apart and rebuild that guy, but I want to get the mount ready, so at least this will go back on. And there is a professional weld. Just don't look at it for more than 2 seconds. But we're back on. Now onto the rear caliper. The rear caliper just comes off by removing this 12mm bolt. And this screw that doesn't want to come off. Get in the hole. I'm gonna get my impact. Okay, nothing a whack with an impact screwdriver doesn't cure. caliper. It's got a little rust. And a little, whatever that is. All right, well, to the bench. Oh, forgot. The pads. Don't look too bad. We'll clean them up too. Leave them there for now. That's a mess. Okay, let's go to the bench. So this caliper is very, very similar to the front. Almost identical, I think. Looking at them both. And this one is in a little bit better shape than the front was. So we pull this guy off. Got some corrosion on it and spider webs. Spider webs help increase braking strength. And this, whatever you call it, it holds the boot on. And this boot is in better shape than the one in the front. The front was all blown out. I don't know if I'm going to get this out. Yeah, it's coming. Oh, there you go. And push the rubber out. Not bad. Just dirty. Dirty. I'm going to go to the compressor and I'm going to blow some air and pop this guy out. Forget my piece of wood. Piece of wood to keep the piston from flying across the garage. It moves freely. Piece of wood number 2. Make sure your thumb isn't somewhere where it's going to get nailed. All right. And now we pop it. On the rubber. There it goes. Pretty clean. There's some old brake fluid. Cool. Some minor pitting on this. Nothing a little steel wool can't cure. Cool. Back to the bench, clean it up. Okay, so we're going to take off this rubber O-ring without screwing it up. Because my goal is not to replace any of these things that don't have to be replaced. Like that. 8 mil for that guy. It'll be so tight. Damn. I'm going to put this in the ultrasonic, and I will put this in the ultrasonic, as well as the banjo for it. That guy, hell, why not? This guy too. We'll put all these in there, and take this inspection rubber off. There we go. Okay. Looks to be down to bare metal. So we'll put all these metal bits in there, and let them soak for about 20-30 minutes, and we'll come back to it. How quickly time flies. Half hour gone already. So I pulled everything out of the ultrasonic cleaner, went over everything, cleaned everything up. Put a little 4-aught steel wool, cleans everything up pretty nice. This one's all pitted, but it's still good. So I put that guy back in. We'll put this guy back in the right way. There. Then we'll do lube up this guy just because. And make sure that it's nice and flat in there. Should still be good. It feels proud of the surface, so it should still do its job. Piston goes in. I always like to lube it up a little bit more too. In dust cap, its retaining ring. So let me pull this guy off. Give me a little more room. Make sure this guy's all the way seated at the bottom. Then, crap, I don't remember which way I went. Time to watch a video. Okay, beauty of doing videos. So it goes this small side to the inside. This guy to the outside. There it goes. It's purple, so you know it's good. Now it actually moves, not like before. And okay, so this guy goes back in with this little tab to the caliper side, and it goes in the little slot right there. And the bleeder, now clean. And we're ready to pick up a washer. Okay, and now we can go put it back on. Okay, so I got creative and I made this using some nuts, some round stock, and some flat stock doubled up. I have to, I don't know if you can see, but there's a seam right there in between that I have to weld up. But that is my new rod. It's supposed to look, if I can find a picture of it, I'll post it. Said it looks like that. So we are one step closer to testing this out. The other issue that I'm having is the swivel for the pedal that goes here has a spring, and the spring's supposed to have some kind of a detent to grab onto on this side, but it's missing. So I have to figure out what to do about that. And yeah, that's where I am now. And there it is after I painted it. Doesn't look terrible. Everything's torqued down. I managed to get this thing, took a bit for some reason, but I got it bled, so now I have a good brake pedal. I safety wired this spring on here just out of an overabundance of caution, since the only thing holding it was basically that little nut, and hopefully now it stays there, at least for now, until I figure out a better way to do that. But we got brakes. I put the side covers on it just so I could see how it looked. Put all the fenders on it, and now it looks like a bike. What I still have to do is swap out the fork seals, because this doesn't quite cut it, and this one's leaking. That one may be completely empty or not leaking, but anyway, gotta do fork seals. I did go ahead and I replaced all the internals here like I said I was going to. And what's left in order to get this thing roadworthy? Brakes are good. Well, replace the chain eventually, and it needs a tail light, and it needs the rear turn signals, and that is pretty much it. Oh, and mirrors. But that's it. So anyways, brakes done, which was the goal here in this chapter, and next up will be the forks. Come back for that one. See ya. Have a great day.